Alright, what's going on everyone? Ada Super here, bringing you another MKX video, and today we're going to be talking about my girl Cassie. And before I get started, and by the way, I want to make this video as short as I can. You guys know I always talk way too much with these character changes videos, but how about that cosplay costume for Cassie Cage? Sub-Zero cosplay, and then the pink ninja cosplay. Those are really good. I love those cosplay costumes. But now let's get into the changes. You guys know I love Cassie, right? She is my favorite female character in MKX. If she's in MK11, she will be my favorite female character of all time because I just think she's fucking hot. Let's just fucking come out and say it, right? She has a really cool game style. She talks a lot of shit. You know, she's just a really fun character. So I use her a lot. Now let's get into some of the nerfs, some of the buffs, and some of the changes. Mostly to Hollywood. I will talk about Brawler because Brawler is actually the variation that got buffed. So I'll go into some of the changes for Brawler in a little bit. But let's start off with one of the nice changes to Cassie Cage. So you guys remember the Baton string? This is very good for you could cancel it into her EX guns. The motion is still a little bit different for me because they changed the motion of the Baton combo. So before it used to be back to 1-2, 2+1, and what that used to do is if you were next to an interactable, you would actually jump off the interactable or use the interactable because the 2-1 actually triggers interactables. So you would be in the middle of your combo, you get a hit on your opponent, you punish him, something like that, and then you do the string. And you get punished for it because you would do 2+1 as a part of the combo. So your opponent would just drop, you would jump off the interactable, your opponent would be safe, full screen, etc, etc. Now they actually changed it to back to 1-2, 2+4. So it's a little bit of a different motion, obviously. So it takes some getting used to it, and as you guys see, I'm still kind of not used to it, but it's still a nice change because if I do actually get someone with this string, I don't want to jump off an interactable. I actually want to finish my combo. So very nice of NetherRealm to change the motion of that. But one of the negative things is this string actually has a gap in it now, which before, you guys know that one of the best things to do with Cassie when you had a bar of meter was you do the Baton combo and then you cancel it into your EX guns, and that used to do a ton of chip. So if your opponent is still respecting it, it will still do a lot of chips. So I'll show you guys right now. So that's a lot of chip, right? But now your opponent does not have to respect it. Now there is a gap in between. See, is this the armor move? Okay, so that's when it changes to Brawler. You guys get a little preview of it. As you guys see, there is a gap in between, in between, like right before the last hit of the Baton combo, the last part in which you could cancel into any of your armor moves. There is a gap in between it, and if your reversal is fast enough, I don't think the takedown is too fast, that's why I'm breaking it with the armor, but if your takedown is fast enough, it's definitely going to break, or it's gonna interrupt your block string, and you're gonna get completely fucked. Because if you have a character like Tempest Lau, for example, you get 32%, 33% off an EX reversal Cyclone, and that's going to go the other way into a corner carry, and you're going to be fucked. So you definitely have to be careful who you do this combo to. If you condition your opponent, if it is a game-ending situation, if your opponent has a character that can actually do a reversal, you have to be very careful, because this, if your opponent is fast enough or has a fast enough reversal, is going to eat right through the gunshots. So, it still does a lot of chip. It just has a gap in it. And another thing that really sucks about that string now is it is actually punishable on block, if I'm not mistaken. Let's actually check it out. So it's -6 on block now. If you've actually finished the full string, it's -6 on block. It used to be -1 on block. So, you know, going from -1 to -6 is a pretty big change. And, you know, that kind of sucks because I really don't use the string anymore. It is a good string as far as punishing because it goes into your gateway kick. But as far as using it for pressure and stuff like that, it's not that good anymore. Because it does have gaps and it's a lot less safe on block than it was before. And I'm still, you know, having a hard time, as you guys see, like with the new motion. But that's a change to that string. Now let's move on to another change, which is a big deal in my opinion. Because as you guys have been seeing, I've been doing the combo into like nut punch. And before, there used to be a thing in which if you hit your opponent really high up in the air, your nut punch would actually be a lot more plus on hits. So you would actually get a free mix-up, a free overhead or low mix-up if you got your opponent high enough in the air. Let's see if I show you guys an example here. That was too low. Almost. So if I were to hit someone like that before a pre-patch, I would have been guaranteed either an overhead or a low mix-up. And now they actually removed that. So no matter how high your opponent is, when you hit him with the nut punch, you're still going to be only, let's see, what is the nut punch? You're only going to be +3. So it doesn't matter if your opponent is really high up in the air or, you know, like almost touching the ground, you're still going to only be +3 after the regular nut punch. Of course, the EX nut punch, you know, is a different story. You're plus a billion. But, you know, the point is they took away the ability to make your nut punch a lot more plus on hit. And actually, the EX nut punch pushes your opponent back a little bit more. You know, you can still get a full jump in. It doesn't really matter because you're still plus a billion. You know, you get a free jump in. And, you know, you go for your offense and stuff. But the regular nut punch is no longer, you know, you can't control how plus you are on hit with it anymore. So that's that. You know, the EX nut punch is still completely invincible for a few frames. Something else that they changed was they actually took away the armor of her EX flip kick, which is, you know, for a lot of people was a huge deal. For me, it's not so much. They wanted the EX flip kick to be a way to make your 50-50 safe. So you could go for this, be completely safe, or you could go for this and be completely safe when, you know, if you don't do it for the low option at least, you're going to be, you know, punishable on block. If you do this, you're still going to be, you know, safe. But if you want to launch your opponent, the EX flip kick is the safe way to do it. So that's what they wanted the EX flip kick to be for, making your 50-50 safe. But it no longer has armor as a reversal. And not only that, they actually made it a frame slower. So this used to be the fastest reversal in the game along with Reptile. 6 frames. You were able to punish a lot of things. The regular one was also 6 frames. It is no longer 6 frames. It's actually 7 frames now. So let's go into the moves list here. And as you guys see, the flip kick is 7 frames now, as opposed to being 6 frames. So you are no longer able to punish 6-frame moves as a Cassie Cage player. So, you know, I think that's more of a change, or a significant change, than making this have no armor. Because before, you were actually able to punish 6-frame moves if you were right on the dot, or 7-frame moves, you know, stuff like that. But now it's going to be a lot harder for you to punish, you know, moves that normally before pre-patch you were able to punish just fine. So kind of sucks that they took away that, but let's move on now. What else did they take away from good old Cassie? I think that is about it, actually. Did they make anything? Yeah, I think that's about it as far as the nerfs. Like the removal of armor and making the flip kick 1 frame slower was actually like the biggest deal out of them all. Her combos are still the same. You know, you can still get that in the corner. You can still get like a cool 42 in the corner into, you know, another 50-50, stuff like that. You just can't make this plus anymore, or real plus. So that's pretty much it. Like, Cassie somewhat stayed the same as far as what you want to do with her as far as your gameplay. You know, you still want to get your 50-50s, and you know, just be a really offensive character. She still does a lot of damage in the corner. You know, of course, you want your opponent in the corner so you could get, you know, stuff like this. Not that. You know, you get stuff like that into flip kick, or that into EX nut punch for a guaranteed 50-50. Of course, you keep your 50-50 safe that way. Go for another one. You know, so your game plan with Cassie is still pretty much the same. You just are, you know, there was just tools taken away from you, like your nut punch, the height of your nut punch thing, your plus range on nut punch. Her flip kick being 7 frames now, and this not having armor. So that's pretty much like it for Cassie as far as you know, changes. So I'm still gonna be playing with her because I love her as a character. I think she's a lot of fun. So I'm still gonna be playing with Hollywood mostly. And the only change to Brawler is the fact that they added two new moves for her. They actually added her takedown. They added a meter burn version. So is it this one? So as you guys see, takedown is still, it's 17 frames. It's not that bad. It is an overhead, and you do have a hit of armor. So in this variation, you actually now have a pretty good reversal, because the reversal for this variation before was the EX flip kick, but it doesn't have armor anymore. So now they added this. She has a reversal that does 18%, which is really good. And they actually also added a meter burn version of her command grab, which is a down back forward +2. And is this faster? Oh yeah, so this is 12 frames as opposed to the takedown being 17 frames. But as you guys see, the takedown obviously has more range. But if you are waking up, your best bet might be to use this because it is faster. Even though this is an overhead, so if your opponent's blocking low, you know you're gonna catch them. But if you do this one, it does have a hit of armor, and it is 12 frames. So what is this on block? So it's -20, so the takedown is definitely punishable on block. So, you know, you could do either or, you know, be honest with you guys. Still gonna absorb a hit of armor. So that's pretty much the difference in Brawler. And that was actually a pretty significant difference, because this variation didn't have a good wake up. Or actually, it fucking had the EX flip kick. What am I talking about? But now you could actually add more damage to your combos if you ended with this. You know what I mean? Have a little bit more damage potential. I don't really know the combos with Brawler. Let's see. So that does 41 now, 2 bars. You know, maybe a game closing situation where it calls for wasting 2 bars of meter for that. See, without that, I think it was 37, 38% without that. So, you know, game closing situation, they mostly added to have her have a reversal, you know, because they did take away the armor from the flip kick. You know, you still have this, right? You still have her 50-50s. You know, they lead to that. Whoops. For this, you could do that. Whenever you do the flip kick, you can go 2-1-2 and then, you know, take down and stuff like that. Add a little bit more damage. So she's all right. I would definitely say that the Brawler is a pretty good variation. You know, you can mix in, this is an overhead, so you can do this, you know, low overhead. The second hit of this string is a low. So, you know, if you're pressuring your opponent, you go for that. You know, he might be expecting you to do the full combo. You go for the low overhead. He might not be expecting it. And of course, you have tick grabs. Let's see. Down 3 into command grab ticks. Down 1, down 4. Of course, this string, you know, ticks all over the place. Let's see. Oops. It's a little tricky because your flip kick is with 2. But as you guys see, all the hits in the 2-1-2 string tick into her command grab. So, you know, you could always do that. But that's going to be it, guys. We are 15 minutes into the video. I wanted it to be short, but I just can't help it. I can't help just talking, guys. I'm sorry. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys next time.